welcome back to the Learning Clinic on CKLU 96.7 FM. I'm your host, Robert Kirwan, and with me this afternoon is Chris Nerpin. Chris is with Summerfest. Chris, I should have got your role. What is your official role?
I'm a board member, stage host, and official spokesperson for the organization.
Perfect. So Chris, Summerfest is coming up on August 21st.
Yeah, August 21st to 24th at Bell Park.
So tell us about Summerfest.
All right, well this will be the 17th year that Summerfest has put together the festival.
17 years
17
already.
years, yeah. Started out in a mall parking lot as a fundraiser for muscular dystrophy. As the festival grew, it broke off from muscular dystrophy and developed its own not-for-profit festival, or not-for-profit organization, that is, with the specific agenda of putting together this diverse festival here in the city, with bringing in big names and showcasing along those big names our local talent, our local musicians and artists, and developing programming that is family friendly. Everything from a carnival. There's a water ski show that we put out on Ramsey Lake. Fire breather, buskers, we bring in vendors and food vendors, and other not-for-profits will come up and set up information booths in the park. So we really focus on promoting the culture of our community and the talents in our community, and do that by exposing them to the crowds that come into these big acts.
And is this in one specific location, or is it spread out over the whole?
It all takes place in Bell Park.
So,
A couple of years ago, our carnival, after the Bell Park renovations, our carnival had to be moved across the street into the gravel parking lot on Paris Street. But yeah, it's all at Bell Park for those 4 days.
does it go across the whole shoreline, like?
Well,
up to the
essentially,
boardwalk,
if you know
for
the
the
Bell
hospital?
Park layout,
Yeah.
we fill that. We put in a couple of, of course we use the amphitheater. We put up a couple of other stages. We have a stage that Eastlink sponsors called the B-side stage. That's where we put a lot of our local artists. We also bring our local artists in to open each one of our shows each night, which is a great opportunity for them. We have a family stage, we have, and then throughout the park there are different smaller stages where different activities are going on, children's shows, crafts, that type of thing.
Is there admission charges?
No, as it stands now, you only pay to see the main stage artists. Otherwise, you can come into the park and
So
enjoy
this is a
everything
real
for free.
family come in
Absolutely.
and walk around. This is very much like Northern Lights Festival used to be a long time ago, I think.
Yeah. Maybe before my time. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It was like, so this is one of those festivals that really you can come and you can just enjoy seeing everything that's there, and if you wanna go to one of the main stage shows, then that's what you.
That's what you do, and I mean, as I said, there's those other stages that are all free, that have the different types of music and entertainment on them that you can sit and watch and enjoy at no cost.
This is one of the bigger festivals of the year, isn't it?
It is, I feel safe to say it's the biggest festival that goes on here in the city. I think it's the most diverse. There are other great festivals. What's really unique about Summerfest is that not even under its own will, the support and the involvement that the community, the individuals, the businesses, the corporations have provided Summerfest over the years has just provided for it to evolve to the size that it is, and it hasn't necessarily been under its own direction. It's simply been that support and that engagement that we bring out of the community that keeps it getting bigger and bigger.
You have a lot of local talent and local artisans who show up too, and
Absolutely.
And on your stages you have, it's an opportunity for local people to perform.
Well, yes, so for example, this year, just to, our country night, we have Gord Bamford and Brett Kissel, and we have a local guy, Mike Trudell, who will be opening it up for them. So it's a great opportunity for him to expose himself to that, to that crowd, to the people that listen to his genre of music. And so on all 4 nights we do that. We bring in a local artist so that local artist gets that exposure. And as I said, aside from that, they play all throughout the park.
A lot of stuff for children?
Lots of stuff for children. We have crafts, we have entertainment specifically for children. We have a performer that comes in with children's shows. Name of course escapes me right now, but he's been coming back for years and the kids just love him. I believe we've had ventriloquists, we've had fire breathers, stilt walkers, as I mentioned, buskers throughout the park. So, you know, I think last year, unfortunately, weather didn't cooperate too much for us on Sunday, but Saturday was absolutely gorgeous, and if you were in that park, it was packed, you know, and they're from newborns to 90-year-olds, and it was that, you know, families, and then you have teenagers, and so it involves everyone in the community, and on top of that, the volunteers. You know, it's 100% volunteer driven. We don't pay any of the board, we don't pay any of the committee members, we don't pay any of the volunteers. It's all volunteer driven. And some of them have been with the festival for all 17 years. And so it provides, you know, youth an opportunity to get involved in the community. And that's been a real big initiative of ours, is to keep the youth involved. And some of them have grown up with the festival.
Is it, the volunteer driven, the volunteer based, the proceeds, basically won't be much proceeds, but do the proceeds go to any particular charity now? Or?
Well, as I said, we're a not-for-profit, we're an established not-for-profit. It comes back into Summerfest,
Right.
and we use it to roll out the programming of the next year.
Ideally, it'd be nice to have enough in the bank to pay for the costs of the following.
Yeah, and that's what we do. You know, there's been years where unfortunately it's taken a loss. I think back in 2010 when we were downtown waiting for the amphitheater renovations to complete, we had to set up in the old Market Square. So that year wasn't as successful for us, so we had to, you know, dip into some reserves. But other than that, the last 3 years have been just incredible, and the names have been getting bigger and bigger, of course.
This is, I think this is one of those festivals a lot of people from out of town
Oh,
put on
and you
their
know,
schedule, right?
last year we had folks fly in from Newfoundland to see Great Big Sea. We had tickets purchased from Americans that came in to see some of the shows. I was traveling earlier this year with my son, in fact, and we were at Canada's Wonderland and stopped and talked to one of the artists there, and came up in casual conversation. He'd heard of Sudbury Summerfest. He was just a young kid, you know, 20, 21, 22. So it is well known, and it is very popular, and people do come from all around for this festival.
21st, so it's a 3-day event?
4-day event,
4-day
Thursday,
event.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursday must kick off with,
Thursday is our country
performance.
night, so we have that, as I said, Gord Bamford, Mike Trudell, and
so that's basically the show, right?
that's the main
So
stage
there's-
show for
okay.
that night. Thursday's a little quieter because all of our other entertainers are starting to set up, the carnival's getting set up, you know, and Friday is really when the things start to get rolling, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's all day, vendors and entertainment and so on. Friday night we have Loverboy and Prism coming in to perform. Saturday night we have the lineup is Widemouth Mason, Danko Jones, and Big Sugar. And then Sunday night we're happy to close out this year's festival with Down with Webster, which is a huge Canadian act, and playing with them. Prior to them will be Christina Maria.
It's gotta take a full year to organize this.
1 full year. We don't stop. You know, we get up to the eve of this festival and we're focused on this festival, but as soon as it's done, we're wrapping up the paperwork and tying the loose ends and moving forward, planning the following year.
For some of these acts, you gotta book them well in advance, don't you?
You do, and it's a lot of back and forth. We have a great coordinator that works with us based out of Toronto, Brad Jones Entertainment. And we work with him back and forth, finding acts. Being a not-for-profit, we try not to have to pay top dollar for some of these top acts. So if we can get them on a tour or in the area, sometimes you can get them at a lower rate. You know, if they have a show a couple 100 miles away, or a couple 100 kilometers away rather, and they have a free night, they'll book the night at a lower rate for us. So we do our best to see how we can get these folks here and do it with a reasonable amount, because you know, you have to pass that cost on to the folks that are coming in to watch it, right?
Right.
So you've got to try to keep it cheap.
I've heard that a lot of the performers like doing the not-for-profit.
You know,
performances like this.
they do, and when you sometimes let them know what you're all about, it becomes an easier negotiation. Depends on their management, depends on who they
Right,
are.
that's
You
true.
working directly with them. You know, having that liaison in Brad Jones is fantastic for Summerfest. It's been a great relationship, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, could be getting Elton John to come up here it had to be more of a, I wanna come up and just play Sudbury.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anybody could afford to put Elton John into the amphitheater and sell 1,500
Yeah.
seats to pay for him, but, yeah, you know, it's great to see some of these artists coming in.
Just to get back into the smaller communities.
Yeah.
So if a person was to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, would they have enough options and different activities to allow them to come back for 3 days?
Yeah, no, you know, absolutely they do. Heck, you can spend an afternoon sitting there watching our Trick Water show. It's great entertainment, you know.
Okay.
Bunch of young individuals out on the lake, and it's a very entertaining show. Well choreographed, lots of fun, and you see people just sitting there watching that. We make a point of you know, mixing up the genres of music that are being played. So anywhere in the park at any given time, you will find a unique genre being played. So if we might have country music up on the main stage, while over on our other stages it's going to be a different genre of music playing. So we work hard on those fine details to make sure that there's always something running for everyone to enjoy. You know, the food vendors, who doesn't love the food vendors?
Must have a lot of parents on your group.
There, you know what, absolutely, and we do, well, most of us are parents, in
Yeah.
fact, and
Because you need to have a lot of variety, keep different groups and different kids.
well,
You know,
and we do,
entertainment.
and, you know, like I said, there's that entertainer, I wish I could remember his name, and I apologize.
He'll come to you.
But yeah, after we're done talking, it'll pop into my head when I walk out. But we focus on that, and we spend a lot of time ensuring that our program is variable, so that, you know, maybe you wanna come 2 days, or maybe you're gonna come and spend all 4 days. Some people do, you know, you don't even have to go to a main stage concert if you don't want to. You can stay in the park and listen to the other stages all night, or engage in one of the other activities that
Enjoy
are
the
going on.
food and enjoy the crafts.
Exactly.
A lot of, I guess, a lot of craftspeople would be selling.
Yeah,
Lot of
yeah,
people
oh
in the
yeah, we
street.
have people come in selling all kinds of crafts and vendors. We bring in authors. Last year we had an author from Barrie who had just published a book come into the park and you know, to promote his book. And so there's all anything that you might want to be able to tie to arts and culture, you're gonna find a taste of it at Summerfest.
What would rain prevent? Would it prevent the main stage shows?
No, not necessarily. That really, you know, for example, last year, the Sunday night, we had Great Big Sea, and it was torrential. And it was a tense day. So you're working, you know, and talking with the city, and talking with the band management. Are we gonna go on? If we're not gonna go on? Being an outdoor venue, you have to worry about things like lightning. So, you know, there was an open conversation throughout the entire day. And, you know, fortunately, the skies cleared and we were able to go ahead with the festival. But, you know, weather can throw a monkey wrench at you at any time.
Yeah, you wouldn't wanna have to postpone, but you can't postpone the last day, can you?
Well, that was discussed, and you know, so for example, last year, when we were discussing what are we gonna do, the weather wasn't cooperating, one of the options that was put on the table is possibly, you know, we'll just roll it out tomorrow, we'll cancel it today and roll it out tomorrow. We wanna keep Summerfest fans happy, and we wanna roll this festival out to the best of our abilities. Unfortunately, you know, acts of God.
Didn't have to.
Yeah. Maybe I think a lot of people were doing a lot of praying that Sunday, and for whatever reason, and I think the joke amongst us was we have Great Big Sea coming on stage, and with this rain, it looks like Bell Park might just be a Great Big Sea by the end of the day.
Yeah, sure, everybody was laughing.
Yeah. Some of us were laughing. And we were laughing after it was decided the show was going to go on, and it went on, and the skies cleared. It was a great show, and you know, the amphitheater was full of fans, and it was a wonderful way to wrap up the 16th festival.
Any estimate on attendance numbers?
You know, I want to say that unfortunately, we don't charge, so the only count we have are our ticket sales. But Saturday last year, that park was packed, and I think it would be easy to say that on a popular festival year, 30 to 50,000 people through the park over the 4 days.
Parking,
We've never been received any concerns about parking. Of course, there's those the gravel parking lots across the street on Paris Street, and the hospital, the old St. Joseph's site. We can utilize that for parking, so it's never been an issue. Great transit access to it's right there on Paris Street for those who want to hop on a bus.
Science North.
yeah.
You got lots of, and I think people expect if you're gonna go to a festival, you may be walking a bit from your
Yeah,
car.
we have people come in, you know, from their homes on the lake and park down at Science North and come into the festival.
But do you have any arrangements with public transit?
We do own, no, nothing like that. We do for our volunteers. We provide free bus passes for our volunteers to come back and forth. But no, we don't have anything coordinated as of yet with Sudbury Transit.
What kind of volunteer team do you end up with? What numbers? Must be huge.
Yeah, well over 130 volunteers. You know, there's the core of us that work all year round and off and on are engaging different members of that larger group. But when the festival's done and running, you know, we have volunteers in every form, from helping out with security to helping with guests to ticketing to simply being runners to you know, any number of jobs. The biggest job is that setup. It takes us a week to set up before the festival, and so we have a great bunch of volunteers who come in. You know, we have one gentleman that comes in from North Bay every year and helps us set up and take care of the you know, the logistics and the technical stuff and the stages. So
Because I imagine there is a lot of technical
there
work. I can imagine that.
there is there's a lot of work, but you know, going into our 17th year, for the most part, we know what we're doing. You know, we have the years of practice and the years of experience to know exactly what's doing.
But there are many people who have been here for the whole 17 years.
A number of people have stuck around for the entire 17 years.
Really?
Yeah. It's so much fun. You know, it's a lot of work, and there's some times where there's stress, but as organizers, it's so gratifying when you know.
You're like a social group. Aren't you?
Well, yeah, but we're exhausted that weekend, and we're running on the euphoria of the excitement that's in the park and the people coming
That's
down.
the culmination of a whole year. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
I mean, you could run on adrenaline.
I think all of us are running on adrenaline, basically.
Yeah.
I myself go through a pair of brand new shoes every year, coming back and forth through the park and fulfilling my different responsibilities and roles. And by the end of the weekend, I've put so many miles at the bottom of the shoes are worn out.
I think a lot of, unless you've actually been involved in organizing even a small scale event, I don't think you realize the amount of work that goes into something like that. And it's not just making arrangements for people to come, it's coordinating everything so that everybody's in the right spot at the right time. And
Well, you know, exactly, and, you know, we're the board, the core group of organizers, you know, most of us are all professionals here in the community with different, wearing different hats, which means we all bring different talents to the table, which is great to have in that planning environment. And we, you know, we do this at 2 o'clock in the morning or on our holidays, or we take time off of work to do it. And you know, we do our best to balance our professional lives and our family and put together this festival. And I think, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it's grown on its own and under the will of what, you know, folks here in the city seem to want, seem to support. And so that's very motivating too. You know, it's always a reward to us to see that engagement. And you know, last Saturday, or last year, on the Saturday, that park was full. It was packed with people. It was a gorgeous day. And, you know, you couldn't turn around with almost bumping into someone.
perfect time too. Has it always been at the same time?
It's always been this last weekend, and, well, before the long weekend, that is. And it's always worked out well. You know, we have a number of things that go on throughout the summer, so you don't want to piggyback too much, right? And you want to have space in between different
There's
events.
something every weekend at Sudbury.
Yeah, so absolutely. And it has become a staple of what people are expecting to close out the summer here in Sudbury.
Well, it sounds as if it's more of like it's a broader scope.
Oh, it's huge.
Of entertainment, whereas there are some smaller festivals that are kind of focused on a particular theme.
Yeah.
during
Our
the-
theme is involve the community, involve the families, get people out, get people, you know, knowing what Sudbury is and where Sudbury is, and promoting our local arts and culture, and you know, and bringing those big names to draw that spotlight to our city.
I imagine too, it really draws on all age groups, because if you're bringing some of those entertainers in,
all age
You may get
groups.
a lot of people come in for the shows, but they don't come in during the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you know, if you look at the last couple of years, or most of the years, we have what some might call a youth night, you know, down with Webster, that band plays to a younger crowd, Carly Rae Jepsen, Mary Ennis Trench, all those names, you know, they are promoting to that younger demographic, those young kids. So, you know, and then you have Loverboy and Prism this year. Well, there's an older demographic, and then you have some classic from the '90s, and then you have the country. So, we do our best to try to, you know, provide something to every demographic, and you know, we have families that come over.
Have you noticed any growth in your core group of volunteers that have been together for 17 years? Because that's a big span of time in your life.
It is, and you know what's funny is some of them are families.
Mhm.
You know, the parents started volunteering, and as the kids grew up around the festival, they got involved and started to volunteer. And absolutely, we've had no choice but have our volunteer, you know, group grow for the simple fact that the festival has. So
But your age, your preferences are different over 17 years. Have you
Yeah,
found
they
much of a
are.
difference in philosophy, or?
Well, no, and I think as an organization, we appreciate that growth in the individuals. The human element is one of the best things that we can bring to the table,
Yeah.
right? And when we have those varying demographics in the people that are helping to plan it, that means that in the discussions, we're doing our best to make sure that everyone is being represented when we make decisions.
So somebody's at the table saying, don't forget about the change areas.
Yeah,
For the babies.
absolutely. And last year we had, you know, we actually had a family, a baby change area set up and put in place. And so, yeah, we have that much talent in our volunteers and in our organizers that we are able to sit down and, you know, we have a checklist that we go through every meeting. I think some of us dread it when we started, but it's, you know, 5-6 pages long, and we literally are going down and making sure, okay, who's done this? Has this been taken care of? Have we set that up yet? There are so many logistics to it, and there's so much, and it literally is a year-round process with monthly or bi-monthly meetings.
What is interesting though is it only takes one inconvenience, not for people to be critical, but one inconvenience to spoil the
Yeah.
fun. And it could be the lack of the change room for a baby that needs changing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some little thing that you would overlook because
Yeah.
it's so tiny.
Well, and that's true, and we're always open to comments and feedback. You know, we make our contact information available to anybody. You can go online, you can send us an email, and you know, www.sudburysummerfest.org and
Pretty easy to remember.
yeah.
SudburySummerfest.org.
Yeah, and you know, and send us your comments and your feedback, and we look forward to that, and simply, you know, so that we can improve it, and we are doing our best to make it good for everyone.
So, other than the date, and the fact that it's open to the families, to everybody, you're gonna do a lot of promotion, I guess, about the shows and.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had promotions going on everywhere. You know, we work with different media outlets and electronic
Advanced ticket
boulevards.
sales, I guess.
Advanced ticket sales are doing well. I think a couple of our shows, our VIP seats have sold out already. So you're looking at you know, only grass or general admission. And one of the things that has been historical with Summerfest is that, you know, we usually have a nice start to ticket sales, and then the summer, you know, people get busy in the summer on their holidays, and then from here on right up to the festival, we'll see our ticket sales start to climb, and then, you know, the day of, you get all those last minute folks coming in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People are waiting for the weather.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if something gets canceled because of rain, what happens to the tickets?
Well, I mean, we promote it is an outdoor festival. You know, all sales are final. As I had mentioned with Great Big Sea, we're simply not going to pull a plug because it's raining. We'll do what we can to keep our fans happy.
A rain delay.
A rain delay, yeah. Throw up some tents and we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
But you know, we certainly are aware that that's a possibility, and we've never had to do it.
But
But
some of the ticket purchasers, they understand.
yeah,
that too.
yes, then they understand it's an outdoor festival. I've been to outdoor festivals where I had to put, you know, the rain poncho on and enjoy the show. and some people don't mind that.
So I guess if you get an event that sells out in advance, you know you've got a pretty good draw,
Yeah, yeah.
when there's that many
absolutely.
people willing to risk.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've had those. Summerfest, when that amphitheater was back up and running, Summerfest was the first festival to sell it out.
Really interesting. Have we missed anything?
I don't know. I think, Summerfest is such a great festival, and it has become almost a fabric of the community here in Sudbury. We enjoy everybody coming out to the festival. We love the engagement. We love the individuals and the sponsors and the community that really dig in and grassroots movement with us as we throw it together every year. Something for everyone. Free admission to the park, as I said, unless you want to come and watch a main stage show. And if you want to come and watch a main stage show, there are all kinds of contests over the city right now that are going on for you to get free tickets if you're looking not to pay, which I'm sure many of us always do. But
But the tickets are within reason.
the tickets are within reason. We do our best to keep the ticket prices down. When we sit down and we're talking around that table, that's very important to us. We don't want to put a ticket price that, we promote an all accessible festival, which means, well, absolutely, but in that context of accessible, we're not just interested in ensuring that, it's accessible to individuals with mobility issues, but that it's accessible to everyone in the community. One of the shows, I think the tickets prices start at $19. Taxes and fees at somewhere around $25 in advance. That's for the Saturday night shows. And of course, we have to pay these artists, they're not coming to do it for free, so we do our best to keep them reasonable and keep the prices down, and so that it doesn't become an issue of necessarily I can't afford to go.
Sounds really good. Chris Nerpin, I think they picked a good spokesperson for the board.
Thank you.
You've covered it well. Again, I want to thank everyone for listening to the Learning Clinic. We've been talking about Sudbury Summerfest, which is going from August 21st to August 24th, coming up at Bell Park. And keep watching for it, and hey, make sure you at least come down for 1 or 2 days and just walk through and see what's going on. This is one of, if not the biggest festivals in Sudbury. So.
I'm going to say biggest. You can
Biggest.
say
You
one,
gotta
but
say-
I'm going to say biggest.
You gotta say biggest. Okay, thank you, Chris, for coming in. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
And down with Webster, Howden Common, they are all playing the Sudbury Summerfest 2014, taking place at Bell Park Thursday,